Hi everyone, I'm Ben Levi. I'm a languages teacher, podcaster, writer, and blogger, and today I want to take you on a quick tour through something I think is seriously underrated in language teaching, and that's games. Not fluff, not fillers, but strategic, powerful tools that transform our classroom environment, boost confidence, and make languages stick. So why games? 3 reasons. They lower anxiety, they raise motivation, and they make things memorable. Language learning comes with a big fear of getting things wrong. Games shift that. They create an environment where mistakes are expected and progress is sneakily happening while students are laughing and racing to win a point. So some research and what's happening in my classroom. University of York found benefits to game-based learning in their research. The National Institute of Health noted really positive impacts from a range of perspectives when they were looking into it. And in my own classroom, I saw something even better. My quieter students, the ones who rarely wanted to speak, suddenly got involved. That's when I knew I had something. I'll speak more about this shortly. So what makes a great language game? Not all games are created equal. The best ones are linked to real learning goals, so vocab, grammar, fluency. They're simple to prepare, but rich in practice, positioned at the right stage in learning, before, during, or after key content, and most importantly, inclusive. They work for everyone, not just your extroverts. So here are a few examples of the games I frequently use in my own classroom. And let me tell you a secret, they're all very low prep too. For example, Post-it Madness, so vocab races using Post-its. The Chase, which is a really competitive game, working in pairs. Spanish Whispers, so listening skills, and obviously speaking is obviously engaged as well. And also memory. Translation Twist, I'll tell you more about this. Slam Dunk, so translations and also getting people moving around. And Pass It On. I'm going to talk about these next. So let me tell you about Post-it Madness, or in Spanish, Post-it Locura, or whatever language you're teaching, you adapt it. So this is one of my favourites. Students write target sentences on Post-its, stick them up on the wall or on a table. Small teams translate into English. Then they go and swap the Post-it for another. And they do it over and over again. So you ever see the look on students' faces when asking them to translate 20 sentences? Not one of excitement usually. But Post-it Madness is a different story. You literally can't stop them wanting to translate. They absolutely love it. It's physical, competitive, and it's basically intensive translation disguised as a game. The Chase. Does anyone remember watching The Chase on TV? And this is the language-based version, without Bradley Walsh, of course. So it's a one-on-one battle. They have to beat their opponent by reading their mind. Students take it in turns to write a key bit of vocab or target structure on their board from a small selection of variables, of course, and their opponent has to guess it verbally. Guess it right first time, 4 points, second time, 3 points, and so on. Turns out you can make speaking fun if you add competition and maybe even a buzzer. Okay, so next is Spanish Whispers or French Whispers, or whichever language you teach. So it's a twist on the classic. Students pass a sentence down the line in the target language. They have to get it to the end. The person on the end has to say that sentence and check if it's the same as what the first person had. So it's about listening, decoding, memory, of course, also getting people speaking, and those who are less confident, it gives them a chance to speak, not in front of the whole class. It all comes together. So hilarious mistranslations happen, or people getting it slightly wrong to create funny sentences, and we use them to reinforce the chunks together. So learning through laughter is actually powerful. Okay, next, so we have Translation Twist. So students translate the dictated sentence on whiteboards, they check it, memorize it, and then the twist, they translate it back. then I check it. So students have to think fast, translate back and forth, all key to building fluency. And they don't even realise they're doing a high order task while they're doing it. Next up we have one of my favourites, slam dunk translations. This is another high energy one. English sentences, target language output, or vice versa, slam dunked into boxes or buckets. That's pretty much the concept. But they process the language under time pressure, and you can literally see the confidence building with each round, as well as the essential life skill of throwing small pieces of paper into a bin with accuracy. Next one is pass it on. This one's about speed and teamwork. Translate, pass, check, translate again. It's like a linguistic relay race. You can put people into teams or do it as a whole class. I often get people to shout "pasa" when they pass it on to someone else, or again, in whichever language you teach. It's got everything. It's peer accountability, speed, memory, accuracy, and of course, fun. So a key bit here. So when do you use games? You might be wondering, when do I fit these in? Actually, games are flexible. They're great as retrieval starters, perfect for bridging input to output, great for pre or post-assessment tasks, and yes, they are brilliant for last period when energy is high but focus is low, or vice versa. Now, something I've thought about more recently is it's really important to explain the purpose behind the game and why they're doing it. For example, this helps your brain retrieve chunks quickly. You're practicing how to speak under pressure for a real life situation. Once they know the why, students value the game more. They don't see it as a break, they see it as brain training. And I'm sure we can all relate to this. We often want to know the purpose of learning something before we learn it, and we actually then end up learning it a little bit better when we know the why. So here's some feedback from some students from a previous school of mine. So as you can see, speaking confidence increased massively. Translation became something they wanted to do, and engagement was through the roof. When students say they love lessons more, as you know, you've covered the key content, and that's the sweet spot. So here's my takeaway. Games aren't fluff. They're a strategy. They deepen retention, they break down barriers, and they make language learning feel like something students want to do. And if we can make language learning irresistible, then we're winning. So if you'd like more ideas, you can find my blog on Educate, my podcast, which is Language Sofa Podcast, or on social media on Facebook or X or any of the other platforms. I am Ben Levi Languages. So let's keep making language learning fun, inclusive, and powerful. Thank you.